News, events, sports. Same time, same place, right in the heart of Isla Vista. UCSBTV is serving UC Santa Barbara and the surrounding community with real journalism.
UCSBTV producer Alexandra Goldberg here in the studio today. Thank you for tuning in with us. We're getting pretty close to Halloween weekend, and for the Isla Vista Foot Patrol, that means increased security and this year, increased surveillance. IVFP announced that they will place video cameras along Del Playa on Halloween weekend, and this isn't without backlash from students. Then, UCSB-TV has an exclusive interview with UCSB alum and basketball legend Amadou Sow. Sports reporter Ryan Greenberg has that story.
What's going on, Gauchos? This is Ryan, your UCSB-TV sports reporter. This week, I had the privilege of getting the interview with UCSB basketball alumnus Amadou Sow. Many of you may know him for his 4 years at UCSB, where he led our team to a Big West championship and NCAA tournament appearance. Now, Amadou is playing professionally in France with ADA Blois Basket 41. I got the chance to talk with Amadou about his time at UCSB, playing professionally in France, and what's next for the former Gaucho. Let's have a look. Describe for me your playing style as a basketball player. What do you think you provide for your team better than anyone else? And if it helps you, who would you give yourself a player comparison in the NBA, whether that's someone active or retired?
I'm rebounding really well for them. I'm attacking the basket and the offense really well. And it's just being dominant in the perimeter, being able to guard multiple positions. Give my team the edge of being able to switch 1 through 5. I think that's one thing that I'm bringing to this team right now. And if I had to compare that to somebody in the NBA, I would say like a Draymond Green or a PJ Tucker, where
nice.
They're just on the court to play defense, facilitate things, and take open shots and stuff like that.
So in the NBA, there are 82 games, but in the French league, there are only 34. How do you think, the shortened schedule changes the dynamic of each game, relative to how it is in the NBA?
I think it makes every game more intense. Every game, because they're not playing like a 82 long season. They only play like a strong version, like 30, 34. Which is like a game a week. And every game matter. Every game is is almost like a championship.
Yeah. Nice.
So you have to win, you try and get as many wins as you can, because at the top level, if you don't win if you become the last two to finish, the bottom 2 teams in the league get bumped down from being
right
top from being pro A to B. So the game is it's like a do or die situation where you really want to win. So I think it makes every game intense.
Nice.
That's one thing that I would say about it.
During your 4 years at UC Santa Barbara, how do you think your game changed and developed, and where do you think you improved as a player?
When coming to UC Santa Barbara, I wasn't a polished player. I really had to work on a lot of things with the coaching staff there, especially on the defensive end, being able to guard multiple positions, and also in the offensive end, being able to be that guy who can score whenever he wants and provide a scoring option for the team. I think I've seen myself develop in that area, in those 2 areas, tremendously throughout my four years at UC Santa Barbara. So yeah, it's been under Coach P. It was a great 4 years for me developing.
So on Friday, October 21st, you guys are playing Metropolitan 92 and likely number 1 overall 2023 NBA draft selection, Victor Wembanyama. And considering the position that you guys play, you guys are likely going to be matched up against each other. So describe to me the challenge and the experience of matching up against a potentially generational talent from both, a basketball standpoint, how you think you're going to guard him and match up against him and score against him, and more from just a all-around life-oriented experience getting to play basketball against someone so talented.
It would be very cool. It would be probably something, me and my teammates have already started talking about it. Seeing like he just played 2 games against a G League team back in the States. It's going to be a challenge. He's a great player, very long arm, very, very long as a human being in general. And he can, do amazing things with the basketball in his hand. At that side, it's unbelievable. But at the end of the day, when we matched up with the team who has like a guy like him in the team, it's not about you know your matchup or anything like that. It become like a collective battle.
Nice, good stuff. Okay, so this summer you got to play in the NBA Summer League with the New Orleans Pelicans. So describe that experience to me, and what that competition was like for you, and how it helped you grow as a basketball player.
It was great. Thank you to the Pelicans for giving me the opportunity. It was amazing opportunity for me to, see myself, playing against some of the best players in the world, at least at my age or close to my age, in the summer league, and see how I did or how I can see myself, developing over the year and catch up to the talent level and stuff like that. I think it was overall a great experience for me. I learned a lot of things throughout that. I think it was 2.5 week journey. I learned a lot during that 2.5 period, and still some of the things that I've learned and that I'm trying to implement to my game and stuff like that on my day-to-day basis. I still be working on those and stuff like that. And I think overall it was just a great, experience.
You have both lived and played basketball in so many different parts of the world, having been born in Mali and pursuing an education in California, and then playing the Summer League in Vegas, and now playing professionally in France. So how do you think both living and playing in so many different places of the world has helped you grow as both a basketball player and a person?
You get to learn that, there's a lot of, a lot of things in the world. You get to see how, the world is big, and how, we're just a like little micro, tiny piece of everything that's going on. It's very cool, going from city to city, seeing places and stuff like that. Hopefully, I can keep doing it for a long time, and very appreciative towards, just having that experience, and being in the position that I am.
All right. So what moment or moments do you cherish most about your time at UC Santa Barbara, either on the basketball court or off the basketball court?
I had an amazing time, but I think graduating definitely was a big highlight of my 4 years at UC Santa Barbara, and also, every home game. People came out to support us every night, and obviously my teammates. I've have a great time with my teammates on and off the court. Those are like experiences and memory that I will cherish forever, and grateful that I have those memories.
What are your goals in your basketball career, or perhaps career outside of basketball? What does the future hold for Amadou Sow?
Well, right now I'm living day to day. My ultimate goal is playing in the NBA, but as of right now, my main focus is to make the team that I'm on right now better every day, and better myself, and better equip myself for whatever that is to come in the near future, and stuff like that. So right now, it's just being present and being in the moment.
Lots of exciting stuff for Amadou. We'll be sure to continue following him throughout his season and bringing you guys updates on the former Gaucho. That was Amadou Sow in his own words, and this is Ryan Greenberg signing off. See you next time, Gauchos.
Halloween weekend quickly coming upon us will see security measures put forth by Isla Vista Foot Patrol. In the recent years, Halloween in Isla Vista has always been on the quiet side after years of strict policing to limit violent crimes and chaos caused by the large crowds. This year, the Isla Vista Foot Patrol will be installing cameras along the street of Del Playa. Cameras along Del Playa have been a surveillance measure since the late 90s, according to the Isla Vista Foot Patrol. Throughout the years, different types of cameras were used, but most recently, surveillance measures were pulled back due to COVID-19. During the years of online school, crowds were scarce and didn't warrant a high level of surveillance. This year, as Isla Vista returns to pre-COVID capacity, the cameras are getting placed along Del Playa once again. The placement of cameras on Del Playa has sparked controversy between students. Here's what Isla Vista Foot Patrol had to say.
So one of the things we're trying to get out to people is that this actually isn't a new program at all. This has been something we've used going back several decades. We didn't use the cameras in 2020 and 2021 because they were quote-unquote the COVID years. And with the restrictions on COVID and with the university shut down, there was no need for that kind of additional enhancement. But we've been using cameras on Del Playa for Halloween since the early 2000s with incredible success. They are essentially the same, where they're mounted to telephone poles in the area. They're mounted there because they can access the power that way, because they are power run. If you've ever seen a security camera at the bank or anywhere else, you look at that and you know it's a camera. It's the same sort of thing. It's a globe camera with a 360-degree view, an ability to see 360, right? So it's kind of circular, I guess, or globe shaped. They're temporary. They come down. They go up right before the operational period of Friday and Saturday before Halloween, and they come down the next morning. And then they're not permanent. We don't own them. It doesn't cost the taxpayers any money, and it's just part of our efforts to keep Del Playa and the larger Isla Vista community safe throughout that weekend. Like everything's open for business, right? And so the university's back in full swing, Isla Vista's back in full swing, and we're seeing activity on a regular Friday or Saturday night that is more in line with activity from 17, 18, and 19. And so we want to be prepared in the event that something happens, but also the cameras do a lot of things for us that a lot of people don't think about. In the event that we do get large crowds, the cameras are great for helping direct medical resources. When there's a 911 call and someone's having some sort of a medical emergency, we are able to use the cameras to direct paramedics into the area. Everybody knows DP on a Friday or Saturday night, it's almost impossible to get a car down that road, right? But when we have a camera, we can direct our foot teams in a lot faster. And so we actually save a lot of time for people in that sense too. We also carry body cameras with us everywhere we go, and that's in basically a direct demand from the public to have police activity recorded. And Halloween is basically just one giant police activity. So another way to consider these cameras is that they're also going to be recording us, right? And so they will see our interactions or our deputies' interactions with the public, and there will be a record of that as well. But we wear body cameras, and recording is rather ubiquitous when you're involving law enforcement. And I just want to emphasize that we are very intentional about how we want to deploy these cameras, and also that we're not looking to find minor crimes, find minor offenses. That's why we have our restorative justice program, to divert people from those minor crimes, divert them away from a criminal justice court, and fines and getting a record. And we try not to do that anymore. We're really trying to move away from that. So this is not an element of gotcha that we're trying to play with anybody. I understand the concern. I'm not bringing it up for that, but my point in bringing that up is we're only recording in areas where we're legally allowed to be. We're not recording into backyards. We're not looking into windows, that sort of thing. We're strictly focusing on the streets. If an offense happens or it captures an offense, typically a violent offense, we're required to return that footage over to the district attorney's office. Otherwise, that footage just gets stored. And we have storage laws we have to follow because we are a public entity, but it's not like it's shared in any way or broadcast anywhere else or put up on our website or anything. This is something we've used in the past with great success. We've prevented a lot of serious crime because of these cameras. We've caught some very serious violent offenders because of these cameras. We know that this is a sensitive issue with our residents, and that there are concerns, rightfully so, of any government entity who is recording a public area.
To oppose the placement of cameras along Del Playa, the Isla Vista Tenants Union pushed for students to attend the virtual town hall hosted by the UCSB External Vice President for Local Affairs to voice their opinion. Here's what the EVPLA has to say about the police activity on Halloween weekend and the town hall.
However, our office feels it is important to also acknowledge that the majority of student and community members' questions were left unanswered. The lack of information provided to the community by Isla Vista Foot Patrol and Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office continues to concern our office about the use of video surveillance cameras and its effects on the Isla Vista community. If you would like to take further action in standing up to law enforcement's planned use of video surveillance, our office has also started a petition. We hope you can be part of a catalyzing change in such a time of urgency by signing, sharing, and supporting.
There will be a further workshop on October 27th for students to learn their rights with the increased police activity this Halloween weekend.
I'm Pricila Flores, and you're watching UCSB TV.
Thank you for tuning in to UCSB TV. I'm your producer, Alexandra Goldberg. See you next time.